Hi. So, yes, it has been 3 months since I last uploaded a video, but there's a very specific reason for that. And this video will be probably very short. I would just like to update you on what has been going on in my life and briefly tell you what I'm currently reading and what are my plans for the rest of the year. I mean, there's like 4 days left, but there are some books I would like to finish before the year ends. Also, I do have bangs, but I'm also recovering from a bad haircut, so my hair will probably be in this like bun or ponytail for the unforeseen future. So okay, quick intermission. I just wanted to pop in and say something important that I forgot to say in the video, and that is thank you for subscribing to me, because while I was away I actually reached 1000 subscribers. Yeah, sorry to go MIA on y'all after reaching that kind of milestone, but it is what it is. Okay, back to the video. The reason why I was gone for so long is I was writing my master's thesis, or dissertation, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, October and November were a nightmare for me. I was in the library pretty much every single day, except for Sundays, but even sometimes I still worked on Sundays, but from home. So the good news is that last week I had the defense of my thesis, and I did defend my thesis, so I can finally officially tell you that I have my master's degree. I mean, it took me some time, but better late than never, you know? And yeah, I am quite behind my reading goal. I mean, technically my reading goal was set for 50 books, but I always set it for 50, but like my actual goal is always higher, like in my head. So I think I've read 56 books, which is for me quite low. I would like to get to 60 before the year ends, but there's like 4 days left. So let me tell you what I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading The Other Woman by Gissing, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm like 30% into it. And I don't do this often. I only do this with books that I'm really enjoying and I think that they might be 5 stars. But what I'm doing with this book is I'm listening to the audiobook and kind of looking at the text at the same time, because I don't want to like lose any like word or anything. I'm also doing that because, at least in this edition, there's quite a lot of notes, so I like to pause the audiobook and kind of flip to the end of the book to read the notes, and I'm really enjoying the notes in this edition. This is the Oxford Works Classics. Yeah, there are some things that I'm not 100% on board with. I'm not sure how deep I should get into it, but this book is about mostly 3 women who, I mean, overall it's about the odd woman, and odd women in the 19th century were women who were unmarried. And yeah, at that time there were more women than men. I mean, that's still the case, but I think it was like kind of an overwhelming amount of women that were just unmarried, and there weren't any men who could marry them, and you know, they had to support themselves somehow. And this book focuses mostly on women from the kind of middle or like higher classes that had to employ themselves because they were unmarried. And that's a problem. I don't know how to talk about this yet, but this book focuses on 2 women who have this kind of, I don't want to call it academy, but or institute. They have this place where they teach women to type things, or like just teach them jobs so they can support themselves and don't have to marry. And that's great, but they only do this for women from, like I said, middle or higher classes, and they are against doing that for women of lower classes. They are for education for all classes, but they're like, oh, I've selected my sphere. There's this like dialogue between one of the women who conducts this academy or this place with someone who brought a girl from the lower classes that would like to be employed there. The woman who conducts this place says, you know, I don't help women from lower class. And I'm just like, that's problematic, isn't it? And the problem is that Gissing himself had this view, because you can see this in his notes. I wonder if I can find it. Oh, I found it. There's a note to the word radicalism, and it says, here used as an indication of sympathy with the working class. Rejecting gentlemanly professions by training to be an engineer seems to be an aspect of this. But, like Gissing himself, Barfoot seems to have developed a distaste for the masses. The novelist writes in 1893, what thoughtful man can look forward to being ruled by a socialist government, such as would nowadays be constituted. So, Gissing himself was for equality for women, but also had a distaste for lower classes. So I'm really enjoying it because this was written by a man and it does have a positive view on like the empowerment of women and what do you call it? Not empowerment. I forget. But he seems to, you know, want equality for women, but not equality for women of all classes, you know? So I'm a bit conflicted. We'll see where it goes. The second book I'm reading, I will mention very briefly because I was reading this book for my thesis and I found it very interesting. So even after finishing reading the parts that were kind of essential for my thesis, I wanted to continue and read the rest of it. And the book is called The Refusal of Work, The Theory and Practice of Resistance to Work. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. You can tell by what I read for my thesis what kind of dissertation it was, because aside from that I also read Bullshit Jobs by David Graeber, or Graeber. I also read The Communist Manifesto by Marx, obviously. I also read The Culture of New Capitalism by Richard Sennett, which I quite enjoyed. Surprisingly, when it comes to Bullshit Jobs, I found the essay that kind of started it all, which is I think called On the Phenomenon of Bullshit Jobs or something like that. If I will link it in the description. And this book was like 300 or 400 pages long and I felt like it didn't achieve much. The bottom line is I feel like you can just read the article because he doesn't do much more in the book. And the article is like a few pages, so just saying. And the last book is The Last Feature of Pepperharrow, which is the second book by Natasha Pulley in the series. Is there a name to this series? No, I don't think so. But basically the first book is The Watchmaker of Filigree Street, which I loved, and this is the second book, so I can't tell you much about it, but I'm only like 13 pages into it, and I started it in September. Yeah, I didn't read much in October and November, so yeah, I'm definitely not going to finish it before the end of the year. I would like to finish The Odd Woman, and I would like to finish The Refusal of Work. Technically, I think I deleted it from my currently reading, but technically I was also reading selected short stories by Forster, but that's not really true. I just read The Machine Stops, which I absolutely loved, and I'm pondering whether I should put it on my favorites list of 2021. If it's a short story, it's his most famous short story, Ian Forster's, so we can find it kind of on Goodreads by itself, The Machine Stops. But yeah, I'm just kind of, the second I finished it, I was like, oh my god, after I finish this collection, I will only have one book by Ian Forster to read, and that's it. I only have The Longest Journey, which has very mixed reviews, so I'm not much looking forward to it, but yeah. So after it hit me that there's not much left, I was like, you know what, maybe I will just like dip in and out of this here and there throughout the next year. So I don't think I can put it on my currently reading list because I'm just going to read a short story here and there throughout the next few months or something. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so the next video will probably be my favorite books of 2021, and I thought I didn't have that many, but I think I will be able to put a list of 10 books. Yeah, so look forward to that. I would also like to update you on the classics that I've read in 2021 and then make another video about classics I would like to read in 2022. So look forward to that, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!